Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to another astrology weather report where we're going to be looking at the energy that's unfolding in the skies this week. And there is so much happening. It is an exciting week in astrology. Thank you particularly for the interest in last week's video. Last week I talked about something that's going to be happening in the sky this week, so I'm not going to go into that in as much detail again in this week's weather report, but I would encourage you, if you didn't see last week's video, check it out because it is still active in the sky, what I talked about there, which is the conjunction of Pluto and the South Node. It is still active in the sky, it is still playing out in your life, and it will be doing so for quite some time to come. So check that video out if you haven't already, or if you need a reminder. I go into the effect of Pluto conjunct with the South Node, not Uranus, the South Node, and what it means for each individual based on your natal South Node and North Node placement, rather than the house that it's in, because the effects I've noted in so many people and so many charts and people who experience heaviness and weightedness in their life right now, the effects are actually pertaining to where their South Node placement is natally, and I go into that for everybody in last week's video, so check it out if you haven't done so already. And just for those who like their astrology knowledge and want to know why this is the case, well, the reason is similar to, let's say this is your chart and you have Aries rising. That's your rising sign. So Mars is your ruling planet. So if Mars is sitting, in this case, in the sign of Taurus, but rules the first house, we learn a lot about the first house from the placement of Mars in the second house, in this case, in whole sign astrology. So the same theory applies. Although the South Node and the North Node don't rule any particular houses, their natal placement is where their influence is most felt and most strong in our chart. So when we're having a hit to either our South Node or our North Node, transiting South Node or transiting North Node, if we're getting a big, impactful, life-changing hit to the transiting planet, it's going to play out in the arena that node belongs to natally for us. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not confusing people too much, but that is why I looked at natal placements in last week's video. So check it out. And I have been pleasantly bombarded with comments and emails about last week's video and how accurate it was at describing the heaviness, the weight, the purging, the releasing, the inner attitudes and the inner emotions of people's lives right now, pertinent to where their South Node is. So thank you to everybody who got in touch and let me know that how accurate my reading was for them last week. Bless you. I really appreciate that positive feedback, because sometimes as astrologers, people don't get back to us. They don't let us know about the predictions that have come in accurately or otherwise, and we just hope to God that what we've said is really striking where people need it most and helping people in the most constructive way, because that's our purpose as astrologers, to interpret the skies and offer guidance. So thank you to those gorgeous people who let me know that it had been accurate for them. Now, I'm also, I'm popping a link to last week's video in the description below if you want to find it easily. And also in the description below, you'll find a link to my readers page. Currently, because of what is happening with Pluto and the South Node, a very rare, impactful transit that is occurring, or conjunction that is occurring by transit, I'm offering a very special discount on my comprehensive character reading. And this is available. It's $40 off the usual price, and it's available up until the 31st of March. So you've got a few days left. 31st of March, which is when Pluto and the South Node will come together in the sky. And so this comprehensive character reading looks at the structure of your chart generally, the things that you need to be aware of about who you are, how you show up in the world, how you can be your best self, your purpose. And we're also making it a specially geared comprehensive character reading at this time with the discount, so that you can understand the purpose of the nodes in your chart and Pluto in your chart on a karmic and a present incarnation level, understanding what these very pertinent strong points of your chart mean in your life journey this incarnation. So if you want to understand the heaviness that's around at the moment, why there are certain blockages in your life that have really come to the surface lately that you're experiencing in like impactful ways, and really feeling the blocks, feeling the limitations of your life right now and frustrated by that, we're going to look at all that in a comprehensive character reading that's on discount special at the moment. Also recently, Lada has done a fabulous article about synastry in the chart. So check it out. If you haven't already subscribed to Lada's newsletter, it is so worthwhile. She covers so many great topics on a regular basis that inspire, give knowledge, and they're wonderful because she's such a fabulous teacher. But she's recently done this article on synastry, and I was reminded when reading this article, you know, so few people actually understand what compatibility and synastry is in an astrological chart. You know, people have no idea that they can get an astrological reading that tells them about their relationship with their boss, or the relationship with their children, or the relationship with their spouse, or their lover, or anybody, their mom, their dad. You know, you can compare the charts of two people. This is called compatibility or synastry. You can compare the charts of two people, and in doing so, figure out where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are, whether you've got karma together that you're unraveling. All these things can be seen through a comparative analysis of two charts, and that's called a synastry reading or a compatibility reading. So you can, for example, I had a boyfriend once, and I've never had such strong synastry with this person, and I was like, I can't explain this because logistically, on the surface of things, we look like the worst match in the universe. You know, why is there this impulse to be with this person, even though everything about our material reality is so at odds? I cannot explain why I am so drawn to this person, and he felt the same way. And it wasn't until I looked at the synastry that I could see, my God, I've never seen such strong synastry in a chart before. And very, very empowering to know that the stars were behind everything, and that there was a purpose, and that there was a karmic reason for this relationship being part of my life. What happened with that relationship is a whole other story. Maybe one day I'll go into it, but it is so empowering to see the synastry you have with another person. I recently had an experience with a boss that was not very good, and when I looked at the synastry of our charts, she had her Saturn sitting on my Jupiter transposed to the 8th house. So there was a lot of crisis between the two of us, and it didn't bode well, even though we were amiable people. The synastry gave, you know, example that her Saturn would be subduing my Jupiter, and possibly my Jupiter would be expanding her Saturn qualities. And so it was a real challenging mix, and in the 8th house it was not fun. So you can understand so much about the dynamics you have with other people through a synastry reading, and Lada goes into that in this fabulous article through her newsletter. So if you are wanting a synastry reading, I'm currently offering for 48 hours only a discount on my synastry reading. You'll notice it on my readers page. The link is in the description below, and you can check that out and get a, I believe it's $40 off as well. 40%, $40, it escapes me. It's $110 US anyhow, down from $140, I believe, from memory. So check that out, and it's really good value to understand the dynamics you have with another person. And a big thanks to everybody who listens to the promotional items that we offer every reading. Like Lada often speaks about her discounted courses or courses that are coming up, and you know, I'm sharing with you my discounted services where I can help you and offer some support and guidance in life. That's what we astrologers are here to do. Thank you for those people who listen and appreciate what we're offering here, because this is our service to you, our support to you. We're not doing it because we want to big note ourselves. We are offering these things because we care about you being able to understand the stars and understand your life through astrology. So yes, it might be annoying sometimes to have to sit through some advertising and marketing, but this is how we put bread on the table, really, you know, by serving others and supporting others through our astrology work. So thank you. Okay, let's take a peek at what is happening in the skies this week. Well, we have a very exciting event coming up today. We've got Venus moving into Pisces. So here is Venus at the very early degrees of Pisces. So exciting, because Venus is going into exaltation. This is a fabulous place where, like, Venus just settles in. It's like, yep, right at home here. Pisces is romantic, it's dreamy, it's idealistic, it's also very cultural and creative. So Venus is like, yeah, this is me. I'm romantic, I'm pleasurable, I'm cultural. Venus and Pisces are a good mix. It's like we have this product in Australia called Milo. You mix it with milk. It's like cocoa, I suppose, in America, you know, and it just, you know, you mix it up and it's the best drink on a hot drink on a cold winter's night. And this is Venus and Pisces. The mix is delightful and tasty. Now, if you have Venus in Pisces natally, what this means, and this is a really good example of the energy play. If we look at the natal placement of Venus in Pisces, this tells us a lot about what we're all going to collectively experience when Venus transits through Pisces over the next couple of weeks. And when you've got Venus in Pisces in evolutionary astrology, the placement natally of our Venus tells us what we are here to learn and evolve with regarding our relationships, regarding our relationship style. What are we leaving behind and growing out of relationally, and what are we moving into and evolving to become relationally? This is evolutionary astrology, where we're born with the chart, but we are evolving up out of that chart into hopefully a higher manifestation. So what are we here to evolve with Venus and relationships? And also it can relate to money and possessions as well, pleasure and self-worth too. But what are we here to evolve with in relationship when we have Venus natally in Pisces? Well, the great evolutionary astrology teacher Stephen Forrest says that we are here with Venus in Pisces to evolve into relationships that, and I'll quote, that are a beautiful expression of soul and sexual connection. So to an extent, this is available to us all now while Venus transits through Pisces. This is going to bring a soul and sexual connection. Okay, I'm going to talk more about this so we get a good idea. Perhaps one of the best ways to describe the soul and sexual connection that is experienced relationally in Pisces is to compare it with another water sign, which is Scorpio. Because I have found that the Scorpio energy and the Pisces energy relationally is quite opposite in many ways. So for a Scorpio person, when they are experiencing intimacy in a relationship, they need the physical encounter to enable them to connect at a soul level with somebody. So it's a very physical sign. And Scorpio needs sex and intimacy and physical connection with another person in order to take them to that level of soul connection, soul ecstasy, soul union with another person. Scorpio is a sign that's all about life force energy. So this can come through sexual experience for a Scorpio person, but it can also come through edgy experiences, such as, you know, being dropped out of a helicopter above Mount Everest and then, you know, skiing down the side of Mount Everest. Extreme sport. I mean, that's I don't know that anybody ever even does that, but extreme sports give you that adrenaline rush that's similar to the ecstasy of orgasm in sex. And this is something that a Scorpio person craves in their life. That's why they're edgy people, because they crave that being on the edge, experience that what we call generally life force energy. So for a Scorpio person to connect at a soul level with another person, they need that orgasmic experience. Sex comes first, then it results in soul connection for a Scorpio person. Generally speaking. Now this is Scorpio rising, sun sign, lots of planets in Scorpio, stellium in Scorpio, Mars and Venus in Scorpio. Like, this is generally when there's Scorpio energy present in the chart. Pisces is very different. Pisces, it's not that they don't desire sex, they do, very much so, but Pisces requires or desires and longs for a soul connection with another person before they're ready to get into the sexual intimacy side of things. So for them, ecstasy comes once they've made a soul connection with another person. So it's reversed. So they want to feel spiritual with somebody else. They want to connect at an intellectual level and a heart level and a soul level with their partners. I mean, think about it. Pisces is the most romantic sign of the horoscope. It's idealistic, it is dreamy, and so they're the ones who sit there with their, looking out the window, imagining Prince Charming coming and riding on his white horse, and that's a bit kooky, but you know, the fairy tale element to life, which does not involve sex until after the connection is made. Fairy tales don't usually work like that. And Pisces is this romantic dreamer where there is the one, the soulmate, the lover, the person who cares about you as a person comes into your life, and then the union follows that. So I hope you're seeing the difference. And neither one is right and neither one is wrong. It's yin yang. It's energy that is just present. Now, for most Pisces people, this will be the case unless there are other factors in the chart indicating something different. So, you know, you might have your rising sign as Pisces, but then you might have 4 or 5 planets over in Scorpio. So, of course, that energy is going to be a little different for you depending on your natal chart. But this is the general theme that we look at with Venus in Pisces, where the desire is relationally, this incarnation, to have a soul and sexual connection, and that is the expression of love that a person with Venus in Pisces is hungering for, looking for, longing for, soul and sexual. And so until the 21st of April, that's the duration of Venus in Pisces, and then it's going to move into Aries. Until the 21st of April, that is what people generally are going to be hungering for. You know, they're going to be wanting soul connection with somebody before the sexual interaction occurs. That's the general nature for most of us now while Venus is in Pisces. We want love, we want connection, we want soul bonding with somebody. Now, if we're in a relationship, if we're in a marriage or in a committed partnership, we're going to seek this out with our partner. It doesn't mean we're going to go looking elsewhere, because this is the Piscean romantic ideal where we are with the one, you know. So if we're in a relationship, this is something we're going to look for with our partners. We're going to desire to go on a retreat with our partner, you know, maybe go away to a weekend day spa or have an afternoon massage with our partner, maybe take a short holiday or a short weekend break or something. I mean, Pisces is about escaping, getting away from the ordinary, mundane, everyday life that we lead, and in this case with Venus here, we're going to connect with we're going to want to connect with a partner through those experiences of escaping. So escaping with our partner. But also Pisces is spirituality. We're going to want to read spiritual books or watch, you know, deep and meaningful movies with our partner, maybe watch YouTube talks together, where we can connect with a partner and discuss, well, what did that mean for you, and what insights did you gain from that? You know, those sorts of conversations, the deep and meaningful conversations that we can have with a lover or a partner. We're going to crave that at this time. We're also going to want to invest in one another's soul at this time with Venus in Pisces. And this is for people in a married partnership. So we're going to want to do things that help the soul of our partner to grow and blossom and mature and come into their own. So you'll seek out, oh, here's a great spiritual book, you know, that I found at the local bookshop that I thought might help you with this thing that you're dealing with. Or, you know, we're going to support and look to love our partner through soul connection in some way. So as I said, Pisces is romantic, it's giving, it's considerate, it's compassionate. So we need to be that way with our partners right now. And if we do so through this period of Venus in Pisces until the 21st of April, we will see our relationships in our lives blossom and grow. If we're romantic with our partner, invest in that. If we're giving with our partner, Pisces is generous. If we are considerate with our partner, these are the kind of things that are going to help our relationships to grow. Now, if you're single, don't worry, you're still going to receive some benefit from this as well. We need to be this way with ourselves when we're single, or be this way with our dearest friends. Okay, it's not going to lead to sex with our, well, it can lead to sex with ourselves if we're that way inclined. Lovely. But also, it's not probably going to lead to sex with your friends, unless you're that way inclined. And that's fine. But the ultimate aim here is to be more Piscean. And so what is more Piscean? Having a soul connection first. That's the priority. What happens physically is the flow-on effect, okay? The priority here is having soul connection with others, with a partner. This is what I've just talked about for people who are in relationship, but having soul connection. So this is not a time where you're going to really love going out and getting down and dirty with someone randomly, unless your chart indicates that that's your style. But generally speaking, the masses are not going to be so into just hooking up for a one-night stand at this time without any soul recognition occurring. So you're going to be less inclined to that generally at this time. So the best way, if you're single, to invoke this energy, to lift the higher manifestation of this energy in your life, is to have soul connection with yourself and soul connection with your friends. This can be male friends or female friends, and this is in order to actually release the shadow side of Pisces, which is the tendency towards being alone. Having loneliness is unfortunately one of the more difficult components of Pisces as a sign. So in order to alleviate that energy of Pisces with Venus here, the best thing that we can do is make connection, make effort, make, you know, go about putting into place opportunities to connect with our girlfriends, with our guy friends, with ourselves in some way. Now, you might be able to do this by arranging some sort of a romantic, and romance doesn't only apply to male-female couples. Let me tell you, you can be romantic on your own. You can be a romantic person, a dreamy person, an ethereal person. You don't need another person to be romantic. But you can do this perhaps by going on picnic, inviting 4 of your girlfriends along, and you know, baking an apple pie and having your little gingham tablecloth and you know, a big platter of fruit and cheese and bickies and some champagne, and go and have a romantic date with your closest, dearest friends. That is Venus in Pisces energy. It's going to lift that energy up in you, and you will get pleasure and delight from doing those sorts of things. So now is the time to enjoy that sort of stuff. It's autumn in Australia, it's spring in the northern hemisphere, sorry, autumn in the southern hemisphere, not just Australia, and spring in the northern hemisphere. So the weather is fantastic for doing that sort of thing. You might like to, you know, grab your mates and go for a bushwalk if you're more energetically inclined, and share a bushwalk and then have a barbecue afterwards at the national park or whatever. Doing something, this is actually romantic in a sense, because it's getting out in touch with the beauty of the world. Beauty is a romantic thing in my book. but it's getting in touch with the beauty of the world. It's creating an experience that gives you a connection with other people. So that's another great idea you could do. Pisces rules the oceans. If you like surfing and you've got the opportunity to do so, go surfing with somebody. You can do it by yourself too, if it's something that really helps you connect with your own inner being, connect with the divine being out there on the waves and just at one with the flow of the ocean. That can be a soul connector to your own divine nature, doing that on your own. Or you can go with a mate, you can go with a girlfriend, or whoever you need to. Go do something in the ocean. Surfing is great, or go to the beach and just hang, or swim in the waves. If you've got the opportunity to do that, these are really, it's a Piscean thing to hang at the ocean and be at the ocean, have some time out at the ocean with somebody that you care a great deal about. Gives more bonding, more soul connection, which we all crave when Venus is in Pisces. So escaping reality in some way is what we need to do. Whether we're single or whether we're in a relationship, we need to either escape reality with a person that we care a great deal about, and it is going to lift our emotional and mental health to do so. So now is the time. If you've been thinking about having an afternoon at a day spa, now is the time. Go and do it while Venus is in Pisces. You will benefit, you will be blessed more than on a physical level, at a psychological level and an emotional level as well. So, and particularly if you do it with a friend, with someone that you love dearly, then you can really up-level the relationship and have a more of a soul bond and a soul connection. So that's today, and it's going to be lasting up until, like I said, the 21st of April. So the next thing that we are going to see happening is Friday the 29th of March. And I know everybody's looking forward to this one because, my goodness, I've heard some, oh my God, I'm so sick of Mercury retrograde over and over for the last couple of weeks. But here is Mercury sitting with Neptune at the middle degrees of Pisces right now. Mercury on the 29th of March is going to be turning direct. Gonna say enough going backwards. Let's move forward now. Let's stop revisiting everything. Let's stop breaking computers. Let's stop having car accidents. Let's stop losing our phones and other devices that are ruled by Mercury. And now let's get everything straight and let's move ahead. Thank God, everybody says. So this is actually now, after this Friday, the 29th of March, it's a great time from then on to start taking actions for all those plans that you've put in place during this revision period of Mercury going backwards. You can actually start to implement your ideas now. You can buy that new computer, you can get that new car, or get your car repaired, or you can get that phone upgraded or whatever. You can do all those things now. If you've been holding off until Mercury turns direct, now's the chance to do that. You can sign those contracts that you've been kind of delaying as long as possible until Mercury goes direct. Now's the time to do that. Now, if you happen to be Gemini rising, if you happen to be Gemini rising or Virgo rising as well, you can now get body work or surgery done. And this is because Mercury is the ruler of your rising sign. Gemini or Virgo, they're both ruled by Mercury. And when we've got the sign, the planet, that rules our first house in astrology, so Virgo or Gemini, when the planet that is ruling the house of the body is going backwards in the sky, it is not a good time to get surgery or have any type of body work like lipo or whatever done, because the energy is too unfamiliar, and of course the rulership of the body indicates that there can be some problem. Of course there have to be other factors as well. If you were having surgery, Mars would need looking at in your chart. what's happening in the 8th house, which is connected to surgery, what's happening in the 6th house and with their lords and so forth as well. It's a very complex thing to look at. When is a good time for surgery, etc., and body work. But generally with Mercury going direct, now is a better time. So go get that Botox now. You can do it and know that it's not going to cause deformity. You know, these sorts of things, now that the ruler of the house of the body for you is doing good stuff, moving ahead, not being, you know, a bit crazy, it's good time to look at doing those sorts of things. Now, you might also find this if you're Aries rising or Capricorn rising, because Mercury will be the ruler of your 6th house, or if you're Aquarius rising or Scorpio rising, Mercury will be the ruler of your 8th house. 6th house relates to our health and well-being, also diseases and illnesses, so that connects to the care of the body, and the 8th house is connected to surgeries. So you know, now is a time you can actually look into getting surgery done or doing new health routines, or taking care of the body in some way if you're one of those signs that Mercury is ruling areas of health and well-being for you. But that's generally the nature of Mercury retrograde turning direct and going forward. Celebration time. And now March, where are we at here? It's gone for a bit of a walk like it likes to. I think it might be a Sagittarius board. It likes to go wandering and on little adventures. Next in line, we've got March the 31st this week, and this is the big impactful energy. This is the full-on get with the program energy. March the 31st, when Pluto and the South Node come together at 23 degrees in Capricorn. So if you have a planet at 23 degrees of Capricorn, Libra, I've got a planet at 23 degrees Libra, Cancer, or Aries, if you've got a planet at 23 degrees of one of those signs, you're going to really feel this. The purging will be great. The impact will be intense. So I'd encourage you, if you do have particularly a personal planet like the Sun or the Moon or Venus or Mercury or Mars at one of these points, then check out my video about Pluto conjunct the nodes in the description below. Click on the link, it'll take you there, so that you know what you're dealing with right now. It'll be really important for you to know what you're dealing with. And in fact, I'd encourage everybody to take a look at that video, not because I think I'm particularly profound or amazing, but because this energy is so strong. Having knowledge is power. And that is why astrology is so powerful in people's lives, because knowing what's happening, knowing what's coming up can prepare us so that when things happen, no worries, we're ready for this. Yep, we've done the groundwork to deal with this energy and what it wants to accomplish in my life. So check it out. Look at your life and really, you know, go deep with it. I've been doing a lot of purging. As I just mentioned, I've got a planet here at 23 degrees. It's going to be triggered by square when this conjunction occurs, and I've been feeling this for for weeks and weeks, this coming Pluto South Node conjunction. And you know, I've really been getting to the core of what is happening in my life right now by evaluating, okay, what, and you might like to do this as well, what circumstances keep repeating in my life that may very well be indicators of a deep set attitude or a deep set emotional expectation or mindset that I need to purge. Look at what keeps repeating in your life, because that will usually be an indicator of what Pluto needs to purge for you. Okay, and I talk a lot about this in last week's video. You might have repeating patterns of, you know, you keep being undervalued at work. People keep, you know, expecting you to give so much more, and they don't appreciate what you do. And you might get, you know, why do I always end up getting paid like shit for my hard work, and people don't appreciate what I'm offering? That might be a repeating pattern that comes up for you. And by really going deep with it, well, what is this telling me? Maybe I've got a mindset that I will always be rejected and that I will always receive less than what I deserve. And that is a mindset that needs to be purged for you to rise up into your destiny. Maybe that you keep having relationships with people who abuse you and who treat you badly. And you're like, why do I keep attracting these people into my life? And you go deep, you journal, you process, you go and sit and meditate for a while, and you discover, oh, I've got this attitude in me that I am only worthy of abuse. I only attract people who abuse me because I have this mindset that I'm only worthy of people who treat me bad. Where's that coming from? It might be something karmic, but that's got to go. No, not helpful to me at all. I've got to purge that. So this is the time for doing that and getting rid of these deep-seated motivations in you, or ideas in you, or beliefs in you that you might not even be aware are even there. Pluto South Node conjunction is here to make you aware. Make you aware so that you can purge it and get rid of it because it's not serving you. Okay, so I'm not going to talk too much more about that. March the 31st is the date. If you want to know more than what I offer in my videos, please book a reading with me at the discounted rate through my readers page. Then on April the 1st, Mars is going to be moving into Gemini. So let's move him into Gemini down here. Ta-da! Stick there. There he is in Gemini. Hooray! Now, Mars represents energy, action, enthusiasm, vigor, physicality, courage, the warrior spirit in us. And so he is moving into Gemini, which is representative of, well, Gemini likes to be where the action is. It's light, it's breezy, it's fun. It also wants to be, you know, right the center of what's going on, and involved in you know, the marketplace of ideas, and that's why a lot of Gemini people become journalists, because they love to find out the latest news and share it with everybody. You know, they want to be where the action is. So when you've got the planet of energy in the sign that's connected to being where the action is, well, this is a great time for being where the action is. You'll have the energy and the vigor to be where the action is, and you might get involved in media, you might get involved in publicity or promotion of something particularly of Mars qualities. You know, Mars qualities are survival, independence, energy, courage. I mean, this is a very Bear Grylls type energy. I was watching one of his videos yesterday. My son adores him. It's his hero. And this is very Mars in Gemini. This Bear Grylls is in the media, in the presence. He's where he's you know, doing a lot of action and survival and courageous kind of things, and he's putting it out there in the media. Gemini is media. Gemini is promotion. Gemini is you know, TV, internet, social media, getting it out there, sharing things. So very Bear Grylls kind of energy that we're entering into right now. There's also going to be a lot more energy and vigor that we can now put into our mental activities, because Gemini is a mental air sign. And so the way we think, the way we speak, the way we communicate, any skills that require dexterity with our hands, because Gemini is connected to our skill sets as well. We're going to be more energized about that. We're going to be more enthusiastic about that. We're going to have a bit more vigor about, you know, doing things with our hands. So this is a time on the 1st of April when we might actually like dust off all our old leatherworking tools. Mars rules tools and implements. We might dust off our leatherworking tools that have been sitting in our cupboard for ages, the last 2 years since Mars was last in Gemini. And we might fish out that jewelry making kit that we've got, and get cracking on some bead making or some jewelry making again this weekend. Very Mars, tools and implements in the sign of Gemini, skills of the hands. So this can certainly come up for us in some way as well. I'm probably feeling this energy a little bit soon, but I've jumped on my sewing machine for the first time in months this week, and that's what I do for a hobby. I love to sew my own clothes like this. And this is Gemini Mars. You're enthused about your skills and your talents, particularly anything that involves machinery or implements, which is ruled by Mars. So that's this energy. Now, Gemini also is connected to business and small businesses. So there's lots of energy now after the 1st of April with big new ideas, enthusiasm. Mars is connected to Aries, which is about entrepreneurship. You know, being the instigator, being the person who starts things up, being the person who has new ideas. And in the sign of small business, well, now's the time to start that new venture. Now's the time to, especially as Mercury is direct as well, the ruler of Gemini, now's the time to start that new business venture or take those first entrepreneurial steps to sell your wares or the results of the skills of your hands, your services. Take them out to the general public now, because remember, Gemini is where the action is. Gemini likes to be the center of the marketplace, you know, so get them out there. Go to markets. The season's right for it. The weather's nice, spring and autumn. Take your things out to marketplaces. Put your wares online on Etsy or some other, you know, service like that. Any networks or any business promotion is really supported now with Mars in Gemini. Mars is very independent, so you might find that you need to go it alone in doing these things. You know, you might have had plans to go do a market with some friends and whatever, and for some reason it doesn't work out that you all go together and you end up doing it by yourself. That's actually very Mars. Mars is independence. It's the solo player. It's the lone warrior. It's the knight in shining armor, the Superman who's doing it on his own. Very Mars. So you might end up having to take your wares, your skills, the results of the work of your hands out to market independently with Mars in Gemini over the next little while. It's going to be there for a month and a half, so that's really what we're looking at. It's a great time if you're a market going person, or you've got a service or a skill that you could you sell at a market. It's a really good time for doing that sort of thing, online or in person, whichever. And with the sun in Aries right now, because as you can see, here's the sun just recently moved into Aries. It's exalted in Aries, so it's got great vigor, life force, enthusiasm that it's sharing with everybody in the world. I love the sun. He's beautiful. And Venus is exalted up here in Pisces, and Venus is our earnings, our money, the finer things in life. There is great reward potential because Venus is exalted, the sun is exalted, and here we've got this energy in regard to the marketplace and business and whatever. There's great reward potential, even if it's just reward through publicity, and the financial rewards come later for you. These things depend on what they're doing, what they're impacting in your own natal chart. So there will be an energy of reward. You might not tangibly see it in the form of money or in the form of some kind of physical world results until later on, because it depends what's going on in your chart. But generally, there is more publicity available here. There may also be more physical reward if your chart supports that. So this is the general read, what's coming up for the collective as a whole. And this is just Astrology 101 here, your level of capacity to receive this collective energy is very dependent on what your natal chart says about you in relation to these energies playing out. So I hope that makes sense. So you might have an energy in your chart where this is just bang, zoom, turbocharge. Yes, I feel it. Bring it on, and it works for you really noticeably, really powerfully. You might similarly have an energy that is a little bit contrary to what's playing out in the chart right now. And so the impact for you, you don't feel it quite as powerfully. Yeah, you go out to a market, you've got the jewelry that you've made and you're selling it at some market or something, and only one person buys a bracelet off you or something. And you're like, well, that was a whole load of rubbish. She was totally barking up the wrong tree with that reading that she gave. Not necessarily, because maybe your chart indicates that the publicity, the awareness, the public knowledge of who you are and what you've got to offer, that was the gain for you. That was the boon for you. And maybe jewelry orders come in down the track. You might have a conversation with somebody who wants to book your beautiful astrological jewelry that you make and sell them on their website or something, you know, and they come back to you in, say, a month's time and say, hey, I saw you at that market. I love what you do. Can we collaborate? So don't think that just because it doesn't play out instantly in your life that it's not an energy that's working for you. Sometimes these things are subtle, depending on your chart. Sometimes these things come back to us in the future. So it's going to be a really good period of reward for us, even if just in publicity and promotion. It can be physical manifestation as well, but if not, it can be really great promotion that serves us well in the long term. Now, finally, we're getting to the end here. On the 2nd and 3rd of April, we are going to have 4 planets in Pisces. So what have we got? We've got, I'll move, where's our moon? By the 4th, whoops, 2nd and 3rd of April, we've got the moon in Pisces, as well as Venus, Mercury, and Neptune. Okay, so 4 planets in Pisces. This is big Pisces energy. And this is going to be especially auspicious for women at this time because the 2 feminine planets, Luna and Venus, they're going to be in a feminine sign, Pisces. They're going to be connecting with the ruler of Pisces. He's masculine. Neptune is a masculine planet, but he rules Pisces. So here is this feminine energy with the ruler of this feminine sign. So there's going to be, and Mercury there too, so there's going to be a lot of thinking, a lot of speaking, a lot of communicating about women's issues on the 2nd and 3rd of April. So you might notice that Mercury rules social media, that there's a lot of articles that appear in your feed on this day about women's issues, about women's topics, that sort of thing. And in general, let's move aside from the feminine energy that this is going to bring. We're going to be more focused because Moon is our intuition, feminine intuition, if you like. It's a feminine planet, but Moon is our intuition. With the energy of a stellium of planets in Pisces, a stellium is 4 or more planets, we're going to have a great energetic focus now on Piscean, Neptunian, Venusian, Moon and Mercury themes, particularly unconditional love. Venus is love, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Unconditional love, the love that gives, not expecting anything in return. That's unconditional love. It's not martyrdom at its highest level. It's not overgiving. It is just loving someone without expecting that they'll have to love you back, you know? So unconditional love. Compassion is going to be a focus. Anything that involves serving, generosity, romance. Again, romance is going to be really amped up at this time. So all the things I mentioned about Venus being in Pisces, get onto it on the 2nd and 3rd of April, because it's going to be, the energy for that is going to be really supportive and powerful. Our intuition, as I said, is going to be heightened. So we're going to get connection from the divine about, aha, finally, light bulb moment about this limiting belief that I've had, you know, like I spoke of a moment ago. But intuition about other people, I don't think they got my best interest in mind. Or, you know, that job that I went for, I don't really think it's going to serve me well. I think I'll say no. You know, you're going to get intuitive insights about your life, about how you live, about everything really, because of the intensity of this energy. You've got Mercury, planet of the mind, with Moon, intuition, and Neptune, unconditional love, and Venus, love. So you're going to be very mentally switched on regarding love, regarding intuition, regarding all these things I mentioned, like compassion, service, generosity, romance. There's also going to be a great capacity on these 2 days for divine healing, and this can happen very personally for you depending on where this stellium falls in your chart. And it also can happen very collectively because Pisces is connected to divine healing. You know, it's miracles, and Neptune rules miracles. So it's magical healing. You know, you hear these stories of people who they've been tested for cancer, and oh my God, they're riddled with it, and they go back a month later and it's gone. the miracle. Like, what the? This is Neptune, full on Neptune, but it's Pisces too. Miracles and magic at this time. And this is, keep in mind, following on from the Pluto South Node conjunction that is going to occur on the 31st. So 31st of March, we have this purge. It's been going on already. People are doing it already. And then we have this purge energy. On the 31st of March, you'll feel it. 2 days later, we have this stellium in Pisces, divine healing. So it's a great, the universe has our back. The universe loves us. The universe wants to support us if we're willing to work with it. So we're purging right now. We're getting rid of the shit right now. Pluto, South Node. And then we have straight after this, oh, I feel teary. God, what's going on? I'm just, sorry, feel like bursting into tears all of a sudden. Far out, what is that? Okay, then we have this energy of 4 planets in Pisces that comes 2 days after. Divine love, divine healing follows our purging. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull myself back together. So although this is just the beginning of the healing and just the beginning of what Pluto and Saturn and the South Node actually want to do, it's just the beginning. We're going to have to face our fears when the South Node conjuncts with Saturn, but that's a story for a video down the track at the end of the month. But this is just the beginning. The healing is present. We are establishing this purging now with a healing energy. 4 gorgeous, beautiful planets in Pisces, the sign of healing from the divine. So the universe totally has your back right now and wants you to heal from past life trauma, wants you to heal from limiting beliefs so that you can rise up into your fullness, into the destiny that you desired to achieve when you incarnated in this body. So yeah, be flowing, be Piscean, be romantic, allow that space for those sorts of things, escape, have some time out, do Piscean things, and it will support this purging that has been going on. Keep in mind too, Pisces and Capricorn are connected by a sextile. So sextiles are easy, beneficial energy if we take the opportunities that are being presented to us. So the opportunity here is there for you to connect to divine healing, spirituality, creativity, and romanticism and escapism. If you take the opportunity to invest in those things, you will experience the healing that comes after the purging. You might like to do art therapy, music therapy, go on a retreat, go to a yoga retreat or an ashram, or connect with your spiritual self in some way. All these things are very Piscean things, and they will support this period of purging that has been going on. So what a blessing. The universe is really working with us, not against us. That said, I just want to finish this. I'm not going to go through every sign because these energies are playing out for everybody, and I'm not going to go through one specifically. There's so much going on. I'm not going to go through sign by sign this week because this video is for everybody, every sign. This is what's happening for everyone. This morning I was doing my morning meditation and I had a vision of the love that is out there in the universe for us, and I was awakened, if you like, to the realization that every planet wants to love us in some way, wants to give us love, wants to give us support. And we think, oh my God, Pluto, you're nasty when you give us a Pluto square or square our moon or whatever, and you're hard work and so on. But the purpose of Pluto is to help us up level because it wants us to rise up, and that's loving that the planet Pluto wants us to rise up. We might think Mars, my God, it's aggressive, it's angry, la la la. It's passionate, it's desire. There's love there in a very masculine, initiatory, go-getter kind of way. That's Mars love. The sun's love is that it wants us to shine. It wants us to shine. It wants us to glow. Saturn. Now everyone's like, well, God, how are you going to find love in Saturn? He's the, you know, the hard taskmaster of the chart. Yes, he is, but he's like the good, dutiful parent who says, no, you'll be home by 10 o'clock. Don't stay out till 3 in the morning with those friends who are going to lead you down the wrong road in life. No, you'll be home by 10 o'clock. Saturn is the parent. He's the, you know, that father who's making sure we do the right thing because he loves us and he doesn't want us to fuck our lives up, generally. And if we're working with the higher manifestation of all these planets, Pluto that wants to help us up level, Saturn that wants to protect us, Mars that wants us to be passionate and you know, have that sexual, physical energy of love. If we're working with the higher manifestation of the planets, then we are in all gamuts embracing love in our lives. And we have the capacity to do that if we know how to work with the energies in our chart at their highest level, at their best manifestation. And that is what a really good astrologer is here to do. Lada, Victor, April, like we're all here to offer our love and support and interpretation of your charts to help you tap into the energy of love that is coming from all these planets in various different ways, love in all its forms, to help you live the best life you can. So thank you for listening to my reading this week. I will close with a little prayer and wish you God's love for the week ahead with all this incredible energy that's now unfolding. Universal energy of love, present and available for all of us to embrace and tap into. We thank you for what's coming up this week. We thank you for the purging that's going to occur. We thank you for the energizing. We thank you for the romance. And we thank you for the support of 4 planets in Pisces that is going to give us divine healing if we are ready and prepared to embrace it. So may we know this in our lives, may we see this, may our eyes be open to what you're doing in our lives and the big picture of what you're here to help us accomplish this incarnation. And so it is. God bless, and I'll see you next week.